I mean, I am so excited for this one because on today's show of What the Hell Do I Know, we're going to hear the story with Matt Touchstone, where an ordinary day turned unforgettable when he found himself in a classroom next to an active school shooting on the campus of FSU this year. We're going to talk about those terrifying first moments, the role his faith played in the process within that chaos, and how he found the strength to kind of move forward, really. This is a conversation about fear, resilience, and the hope that refuses to let go. So let's give a warm jabroni welcome to my friend, Matt Touchstone.
All right, Matt.
Let's go.
Welcome to the couch.
Thank you, Jason.
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid convos, jokes so lame, jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD. What the hell do I know? With JB.
Yeah, baby. So we are here. Matt, I am glad to have you here, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm
Welcome,
happy to
Matt.
be here.
Yeah, for sure. And what people won't know, and they will now, is that I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, I heard you
Very
used to
long
change his
time.
diapers and stuff.
Pretty close.
Come on,
not that
James.
long ago. Crazy enough, he played lacrosse with my son, and really Jackson and him became quick friends, and are to this day. I mean, they're really close friends, even to this day. But really grew up. I would have to get Matt. This is actually when he was going by Matthew. But I would get. Matt.
I like college, Matt.
Well, I don't know. And I love his parents. They did a great. Hey, look, if there is a parenting group that you would go, hey, look, you need to go to a class and you need to learn from some folks.
Some parents, yeah.
His parents would be incredible instructors in that parenting
No,
class.
you know what?
They
You're
did
for
so
real.
good with him and his
This
sister.
dude,
and
I've known
he's
him for a long time too.
yeah, great
He's
guy.
always been yes,
super
sir,
respectful.
yes,
and
ma'am.
Great. He was.
What can I do to help you?
I had my son had some knuckleheaded friends over time.
say
and
one
I was
of
like, you need to drop some of these people.
Hey, we all have our moments, all right?
You were never one of
That
them.
was a keeper.
You might have been in the back. I know you in the background. I know y'all knuckleheaded it up some.
Yeah,
but
they did.
This guy used to
Here and
jump
there.
the fence in the burn pond.
Yeah,
What are you
he
talking
did.
about? What are you
would-
talking about?
I know where
literally
the
would
jump
have to
overs
save
went.
them from the Sandestin jail because they would
Yeah.
jump the fence and the security
Yeah.
Dan would be there.
Deputy Dan.
Deputy Dan would be holding them there and
man.
would request me to come on a golf.
yeah.
cart
I didn't
and
know how
dance.
to
Send us in
escape.
jail on the curb with our hands behind our backs. Like they're gonna try to take our skateboards away from us.
I know that one time I got there and he was like, "Hey, they can't jump the fence." I said, "I understand." He goes, "I could trespass him." I said, "No, you can't." I said, "That's my son. He lives here." And he goes, "Well, I couldn't trespass your son, but I could trespass his friend." I said, "But he's my guest."
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Got him.
No, what you gonna do? He's like, "Well, they just can't." I said, "So we're gonna talk about not jumping the gate." I get it.
Yeah.
But
We
it
won't
takes you
do
15
that.
minutes of coming
Yeah.
all the way around it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, they weren't drivers either, so
Right.
it took a parent.
Take all
to-
day to get around that thing.
15 minutes to get there. So they were just trying to literally just go to the other house. He
Yeah.
lived less than a quarter mile away as the crow flies.
Yeah.
So he's
Yes.
just jumping a fence, going to his buddy's house, or jumping the fence, come back.
If you're not a kid jumping a fence, you're doing something
Well,
wrong.
yeah, it wasn't anything
Exactly.
crazy, but
It
I
was a
always
10-foot
laughed.
fence,
I
yeah.
was like, look, just chill. These kids could be doing a lot
Worse. They're jumping over a fence and going
Riding
to somebody's
skateboards.
house.
Jumping a fence,
But
yeah.
it was crazy. Always fun to have you around, and I appreciate you being a great friend to my son, and so thank you for that.
Yeah,
That was
Jackson
always-
has always been a good buddy of mine.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, we met freshman year of high school,
Yeah.
which was 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and we've been good buddies ever
Yeah, because
since.
this is y'all's last year of
I know,
college.
6 or 7 years ago, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it would've been
Seniors in college
yeah,
now,
seniors
and
in college now.
about to get to the real world.
About to go into the. I
Hey,
think-
you know
although
what
I
they
think
have in the real world?
Jackson's-
Money. You won't be broke anymore. It's going to be
That's
great.
what I'm really excited about, honestly. I've gotten a little taste of it here in the summertime, and then I go 8 months where
Well,
I'm
no
pinching
money.
pennies. Yeah.
You've been you work really hard. You love
Yeah.
the fishing community. I know you work on
Yeah.
charter boats now with these. Well, really, it's more private.
It's more private boats than it is charter boats.
Private
Yeah.
fishing yachts essentially. I
Yeah.
mean, these things are like 60+ foot Vikings,
These are
and
high rollers,
whatever. I
man.
mean, you're working with the private guy that has a crew, and y'all are going out trying to catch pelagic,
Yeah,
fish.
and thankfully I've had some great experience over the last 5 years, and I've been able to become a pretty confident mate and be able to hold my own in the tournament series.
Oh yeah, because
and
you
hold
go
my
on
own
these
and
tournaments and catching
get
big
to fish a lot of blue marlin tournaments, and my experience over the last several years working on many different boats has allowed me to be able to hold my own in a cockpit, and do more help than I do hurt.
We're gonna throw up some stuff, so you gotta
Okay.
send me some videos of you doing some of that
will,
stuff,
yeah.
and I'll throw it up while we're talking about
I've got
this.
some great videos
'Cause
from this year.
I know, and I've seen some videos where you're like wrapping that line
Yeah.
and bringing that stuff in, and you can tell you know what you're doing. You've gotten competent on the water. What I love about that is you've transitioned that into where you kind of already setting yourself up for your future, because you were telling me the other day that the Galati Yachts, the largest,
Might have heard of
the
them.
largest social media yacht page on the planet.
Yep,
Our
Maria
friend
Hall.
Maria Galati Hill came
That's right.
on the show and crushed it. But you kind of posting up with them. It sounds like you're working into a situation to hopefully work alongside that organization.
I have, I've been able to spend this summer as an intern for Galati, and it really couldn't have gone better. I've loved everyone I've met. I've gotten along with everybody super well. I've gotten to learn some really cool things and meet some really cool people. So I was fortunate enough to just be offered a job for when I graduate college. And so I'll
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
So that's a
Great.
huge
Yeah,
weight off
baby.
my shoulders, that not only do I get to start working towards my dream job, but like one, I have a job, first and foremost, and number two, that I don't have to start on a super low level stepping stone. Like I'm able to get into what my dream is, and that's being a yacht broker, and primarily in the big sport fish boat
Look,
game.
you're gonna have to work up. You're gonna have to work up to it. But the
Exactly.
cool thing is you've been making steps this entire time to work towards what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: when you do get to that point, and when you get into that world, you are going to be able to talk extremely in all the intricacies and
'Cause he'll
with
know it all,
knowledge of what it is like, why you want this boat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why you need this
Why
live
you
well.
need this boat in the fishing tournament world.
Especially
Why-
with
why do you
Galati
need this?
being one of the largest Viking brokers
They are,
in the United
yeah.
States, and having spent the real hard hours on a Viking
Yeah.
for the last 5 years, I know those boats like the back of my hand.
Right.
And so when I'm asked to act as a consultant to somebody who's looking to spend several $1 million on a boat, I'm able to give them some really good hands-on.
Several millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah,
on boats.
exactly. I'm able
Yeah.
to give them
Yeah.
knowledge from myself as a hands-on
For sure.
employee on one of these boats.
No, and that's great and
Yeah.
valuable
Yeah.
experience.
It's
to help
invaluable
you, for
experience. It
sure,
really
for
is.
sure.
I would like to be your first client. Do y'all sell remote control boats?
We don't.
If you
no.
do,
No, we don't.
okay. I'm out.
AA battery kind.
I'm out
Yeah,
then.
yeah. with
Brandon, you want to go
lithium-
half
lithium
season?
battery,
half
baby.
season. We'll go to Target.
Actually, we'll let
We'll go to
Becker do
Target.
half.
I think we
and
need to
then-
consult Target
yeah.
for this gift.
That's right. Well, I do. Before we go any further, I do need to welcome everyone to our Floors.com
Oh, yeah.
studio. That's FLOOR.
Double Z.
Double Z, baby, double Z.com. Floors.com is your one-stop shop for your next flooring or wall covering, remodel, or new build.
Do they have bamboo?
You know what they have? Terracotta.
Terracotta, dude. We're switching it up.
floors.
Terracotta
Switching it up.
floors.
Terracotta floors.
And bamboo.
They got and bamboo.
And bamboo.
And bamboo. And bamboo.
right.
They also have just like regular wood.
LVP. LVP.
I totally meant to bring a sample up and
Oh, we
forgot.
should have.
Yeah, I was going to bring a sample up. And it's the pride. I'll do it next one.
Tell them they're great people. Tell them that Jabroni sent you. They will take care of you. They are good folks.
Still
And
5% discount.
5% government discount if you got a government ID. 5% discount on military. I mean, they are so good, and they ship direct. They ship direct right to you, and they have great consultants as well. So if you call them, you got a project, and you're not sure what to do, they'll walk you through that. They'll help you. So it's really great. Floors.com, FLOOR.
Double Z.
Double Z, buddy.
Two
Double
O's,
Z.
two Z's.
But now, before we get into this story, because I do want to dive into it, it's a truly traumatic situation, and I know we like to bring levity to drama here on this show, but I want to dive into it. Before we do, we're going to play a game of What the Hell Do I Know with Matt Touchstone. So 7 questions, rapid succession.
The hardest 7 questions.
They're all gotcha questions.
ever heard.
No gotcha questions. 7 questions, rapid succession. You can pass if you need to. We're going to put a clock on. We've only had one group fail this, and that would be Stan Blackman and
That's a lot of
Brad
pressure.
Bennett. So,
It's the fishing guy, so I'm a little worried.
guys,
I'm a little nervous.
fishing guys,
Not a good start. Not a good start.
We're going to see. Everybody else is fine, but we're going to see how y'all do. So here we go. Let's put the clock on. 7 questions. Here we go. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
I knew that'd be the answer. Morning coffee or evening tea?
Morning coffee.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Marshmallow s'more from Kilwins.
Come on, baby. Text,
Wow.
text or phone call?
Phone call.
Really? All right.
Yes.
Sneak. I would. Your
I know. I'm a
generation.
rare one in my generation.
Okay. Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
And you are now off.
Dang it. His are the
Great
easiest.
job.
How did the other dudes mess
Great
that up?
job.
Stan and Brad screwed that up.
I don't know how they did, but they did. I remember it got so convoluted in theirs.
I got
I
It
gotta
was
go
like
back
a
and
married
watch it.
couple.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was really tough. It was really tough. And honestly, they only had to answer 4 questions apiece.
Yeah.
Because I did 1
It was
through
the
4 and then
fourth
4
one.
through
It
7.
must have been
so
the fourth one. What
it
got
did.
him.
I think that's what got him. And then, oh no, Brad went on to I asked him a question, and he went on a soliloquy. I was like, wait a second,
Bring it back,
this is a
buddy.
clock going. I finally turned the clock off like 5 minutes in. I was like, we're done. You've blown this. It's rapid succession, man.
Nice job, Matt.
Thank you.
Great job. No, you followed the instructions. You got the memo.
Let's go. I'm glad I was able to pass.
Yeah, baby. So, no, I'm super excited you're here. Got my
Thank you.
ears coming all over me here, like climbing up my back shirt. But let me fix that for you, folks. There you are. But so let's dive into it because this is April of 2025, I think, right?
It is. Yeah,
I mean,
it's April.
FSU.
Juice is an FSU.
Juice is an
Oh, yeah,
FSU
well, he
guy.
knows. We
He
know.
knows.
Yeah.
Y'all
On couch.
represent. Y'all represent.
Yeah.
The whole
Okay.
couch
We're both
here with the
representing.
FSU. Look at you guys.
Like the mics and a little bit of the logo.
Yeah.
Representing.
And you love your school.
I do.
These things can happen anywhere. I mean, we just had a shooting in at the CDC. We were just talking
Yeah,
about
Emory.
the CDC at Emory and Emory University.
And the Army base. I
The
mean,
Army base in Fort
crazy.
Bragg. We were talking about the guy
In New York.
New York going after the NFL.
Oh, we
something.
could keep going on. I mean, Columbine is the first one I remember when I was in school.
Yeah, that's the
Columbine.
first.
That was
one in my
pretty.
hometown in Conyers right
That was
after
pretty
that.
brutal.
So, and then they just keep going. We got Sandy Hook. We have all of these places, and none of these schools, and they have pride in their communities and love for what happens. But it's crazy how you went to school that day, and something changed. You were in the classroom right next to where this kid, young guy, right? 20.
Yeah, he was
20
a
years
Florida
old?
State student.
He was a student, right?
Okay.
And I guess his like stepmom was a sheriff's deputy or
His
something.
mother was.
His mother
yeah,
was.
and so that's how he
got
acquired.
weapons.
He
That's how I
acquired
got
the
the-
weapons by. And there
Okay.
was a little unknown fact. There was 2 weapons, and both of them were stolen from his mother.
Were
who
they
wasn't-
under lock and key, or he just knew where the key was? Or
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows what that? I
Yeah,
mean, that'll come out
exactly.
over time, I'm
Of
sure,
course,
or whatever.
yeah.
But so you were in the classroom right next to the shooting,
Yes.
and when did you realize something was wrong, and kind of what was that moment like?
Yeah, so I remember it very, very vividly. We had 2 weeks left before the end of the semester,
Okay.
and we're getting excited for summer. Finals are coming up, and the class that I was in, we were doing final presentations for our semester-long project.
Yeah.
And before anything had been called over the intercom, I feel my phone is like blowing up in my pocket, and I check it real quick, just glance at it, and see it's my fraternity group chat on
Okay.
an app called Flare. That's just blowing up with notifications. There's an active shooter on campus. If you're outside, get inside. Everyone be safe. Like,
So this is not necessarily like your
No.
friends. This is just like
This
an
is friends.
emergency blast.
well, this is
No,
friends
this
of
is
mine. This is
friends
friends of mine.
of
These are
yours are doing
fraternities.
it. Okay.
Are texting in our overall group chat. There's 260 of us.
so
that
they're
are all
like
receiving
active
notifications.
shooter.
Yeah, somebody had heard it and seen it and is telling everybody get inside. If
So
you're
that's
outside
before then, really,
before the
FSU
intercom.
or
Yeah,
even?
so I'm
Okay.
sitting in there and I'm reading my phone and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, seriously, what?
Is this a prank? Like I'm out of.
I didn't know if it was a
hazing?
false alarm or anything, and
Yeah.
I can hear outside sirens and getting closer and closer, and it feels like an eternity before an actual alarm goes off. And I hear an alarm go off. So alarm goes off through the fire alarm, and my first instinct is that this this terrible individual has pulled the fire alarm to get the thousands of students that are in HCB to
and
get
that's your
outside.
first instinct. You thought
My first instinct is that they pulled the fire alarm, and so I jumped up to tell everyone, sit back in your seats. Like, this is not what you think it is. And then right as I get up,
because you had messages from your
because I knew what was happening.
You knew what
I
was
knew what was
happening.
happening.
At this point, it's clicked in your head.
It's clicking, like, this person pulled the fire alarm, and then they come over the intercom saying, everyone, there's an active shooter on campus, shelter in place, barricade your doors, do not leave.
Okay.
And they say it's in the vicinity of the student union, which is adjacent to where we are. It's
Really?
across a small green.
Okay.
And so right in that moment, like, it is a lot of adrenaline, like a huge spike of adrenaline over everything. So I remember jumping out of my seat and jumping over the desk to get to the door as fast as I could and start just throwing shit in front of the door.
Was anybody else helping you, or is
Yes,
it just, so
yes.
there's some other students
There was a lot of students.
Where's your professor? Is he like cowtailing in the corner? Or something?
Yes, he was actually. So he said, like, all right, let's get everything we can to block the door, and then as soon as we do that, he said, all right, is there some young men who are willing to block the two doors and jump on an attacker if someone does come into the room?
Oh, so he's like, get ready.
Wow.
So
He's
is
like,
he an older guy?
No, he's not. He's a young guy. He's a Brazilian immigrant who just got his green card during the semester. So he's super new to the United States.
Okay, so he just maybe didn't know what to do, or
he knew what to do. And so all we can do really is block the doors. But the biggest problem is the doors open out. So
oh my
blocking
God.
the doors, blocking the doors.
So you're just trying to block it for like
to slow somebody
just
down.
stacking stuff.
And the problem was all the desks were bolted to the ground, all the chairs. So we didn't have anything to actually block the doors with. We only had like.
So have you seen these things where they're talking about like new tools on like Instagram or something?
Yeah.
You see a reel where it's like you shove it down in the ground and it like they'll show police trying to kick in a school door, and it's like you have none of that.
We don't have any of that, and like I said, the doors open out. So there's nothing you can do to put in front of the door or to jam the door from it opening.
Yeah.
And so then it came down to, all right, well, if somebody comes in, like, there needs to be some guys that are willing to stop this person. Mm-hmm. And myself and a few other guys were like, absolutely, like, I'm 100% willing to do that.
Okay.
And so I stood on one door and I held my hand on the door handle, like,
so you're holding the
I'm holding the door and like peering at an angle out the window
to see if anybody's coming.
And so once the room's locked down, the first thing that goes through my head is make sure Sophia is okay, my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I knew that she was going to be going to campus soon, and the last thing I wanted was for her to be outside. Mm-hmm. So first thing I did as soon as our room is locked down is text my girlfriend, like, all caps, stay home, do not leave your apartment under any circumstances. Yeah. There's a shooter on campus. I'm okay, but do not leave.
Did you see the guy come in at all?
No, there was no windows to the outside.
Okay.
So let me back up a little bit. So once we had our room locked down, everything was super quiet and dark, and I can hear outside pop, 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 pop.
Really?
And my initial thought was, those aren't gunshots, like, it's something else. And I thought more in, like, I am very familiar with firearms. I'm a firearm advocate, you know, and the more I thought about it, I seriously thought, like, shit, this is just starting, you know, because my hope was that by the time we had everything locked down, that the situation had already been handled. And we're all locked down. I hear this and I'm like, oh my God, this seriously just began.
He's not down. He's not down.
And then there's reports, there's talks of there being multiple people.
Right.
And so now flash forward, so I text my girlfriend, make sure she's okay, and then tell my parents and my sister. I'm like, look, this is what's going on. I'm okay.
What time in the morning was this? Do you remember?
Oh, this is my first class of the day, so it's probably around 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Because I remember doing
on a Thursday.
I remember editing some podcasts, and I remember like it blowing up on my phone.
Yeah.
Like active shooter FSU, because I remember texting your dad.
Yeah, and you texted me too, and I do appreciate that. Yeah.
I texted you right away. I was like, dude, are you okay? And I didn't realize like you were like right.
Yeah, we were
in the hot zone,
hunkered down.
Yeah, and I can't remember who. If you texted me later, I do, but I think your dad.
I texted. Oh yeah, I think I was blowing you up too.
Yeah, we were all like,
and I didn't think to text him.
Yeah. Oh, because and I did, and I was concerned.
It's a big school. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big school.
It's a big school.
I'm just going to text him. And I remember your dad though was like, I've heard from Matthew. He's fine.
Yeah,
he's okay right now. Or he's okay.
So that was kind of the order of operations in my mind was number 1, get my room straight.
Yeah.
Number 2, make sure my girlfriend's not coming to campus. And number 3, let my parents know, because I know that by now everybody's heard about it. Like within minutes, everyone had heard about
Social media, internet, everything goes
internet
quick.
had gone crazy.
Yeah,
so fast.
It was super quick. Yeah, because you're saying 10:30.
mind-blowing.
I feel like I was probably like 10 o'clock or something.
Within minutes before, like right after I knew it was happening, I was getting texts from people who weren't on campus, people that weren't even in the same state as me, that were texting, asking if I was okay, asking what was happening, and I was like, I'm good. I have no idea what the hell is happening right now.
Right.
And so then we just kind of waited. I stood in front of.
So you heard like the actual shot, like 3 shots.
We could hear several shots in the beginning.
How close did he get into? Because I know he came into buildings.
Yeah. So the first building he went into was the Florida State Student Union.
Yeah.
And that was where the 2 people that died were shot. And then after he moved from the Student Union into a green space between HCB, which was the building I was in, and the Student Union.
Okay.
And that's where.
So he's like right outside your classroom.
Yeah, so that's where other people were injured. Thankfully, no students were killed in the process. There were 2 staff members that unfortunately lost their lives.
Absolutely terrible.
But thankfully,
nobody else.
No students were killed. There were some people that were seriously hurt, but thankfully nobody was killed.
How was the confusion and the chaos in the room? Because it seems like you guys moved very quick.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask you about, because you've grown up in a world I'm telling you, I was in high school when I heard of a school shooting happen, and
they're very rare when we grew up.
Rare,
very rare.
I mean, it happened, but it's rare. Now it is something that you've grown up in a culture, in a generation where this is like this happens more than you realize, and with the media being the way it is, we were just saying how 100 years ago we didn't have the media like we have now, so the violence has happened all the time.
You're seeing violence in real time on the phone.
But you see it
in
real time now.
Yeah.
So you've seen this and heard it. Do you think that is one reason why y'all came in? Because the old school thing, like nobody knew what.
Yeah,
there was
we knew
no
exactly
playbook.
what to do.
You knew what
we knew
to do.
exactly what to do. And
why did y'all talk about this?
We've been trained what to do in that situation since we were in middle school.
Really?
Oh yeah, we have had active shooter drills. I can remember all the way as far back as like 7th and 8th grade, because I was in 8th grade when the Parkland shooting happened.
Okay, that's right.
And,
wow.
And
right.
that was a really, really horrific one. And one thing that's super sad is I have a lot of friends and fraternity brothers who lived through the Parkland shooting
and then
lived through the Florida State shooting, and so it was their second one. So you bring up our training, and that's one big reason I wanted to come on here today was because as students we're trained from a super early age. One thing that also needs to change is there needs to be more training for parents on what to do, because one of the biggest problems we had when we were hunkered down, when we were as silent as possible, we didn't want anyone to know that there was people in this room.
No phone calls, right? We don't want to hear ringers.
That's the biggest thing is parents don't know, do not call your kid, because the worst thing that can happen is you're quiet, you don't know if somebody's outside, and then a phone starts ringing. And phones were ringing like crazy over in there. And like,
were you telling each other,
yes,
like, turn it off, everybody turn your ringer down?
They should have been on vibrate anyways. Y'all's in class.
Exactly.
So why are they even on? Yeah.
So there were people whose ringers were on, and it was like, dude, turn that off. And I texted my parents, do not call me. So that's one thing that needs to change. And my mom is actually trying to do something for that, is like parent education.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you want to know how your kid is. So you think
text is great.
Yeah. But it still has a ding.
Yeah, but
it's like one ding.
It's one ding. It's a vibration. It's not a loud, succession of rings. And so that's one thing that.
So if you have active shooter happening, as a parent, and if as crazy as this sounds, because I know you want to hear your
kid's voice immediately.
The safest thing they can do is text.
Do not.
By the way, I just want to say again. It is absolutely ludicrous and bonkers that we should even be talking about this.
For sure.
It is absolutely, honestly, breaks my heart that we live in a world that people, kids and students, even in college, are going to a place that should be safe, education center, bettering themselves, and that we even have to deal with this. We're in a broken world. I wish I had explanations for it, but I hate we're even having to have this conversation.
Exactly, and I'm so thankful for the Florida State and the Tallahassee Police Department. Both of them did incredible jobs of.
They shut it as
quickly as
long
possible.
as it seemed for you.
For
like
me, it seemed like an eternity. Yeah.
How long do you think it was from the time of the first shot to them shutting it down?
Oh, realistically.
And he moved. He was moving through campus.
So probably, I would say between 5 and 10 minutes, I would say. And there was so much. Yeah, and there was so much. And one problem that we could have done better on was I believe that there needs to be FSU Police Department officers at the student union and in places where there is a high volume of students. And there are other places that they wander around, they walk through campus, they stay at Landis Green and other places. But I think that the high volume areas, there should be more good guys with guns. Yeah. Really.
Well,
because that's the only way to stop it.
Don't they have their own campus police?
We do. We do have FSU PD, and they do an incredible job. But I do think that there needs to be more presence, not only at Florida State, but other schools in the high volume areas. The FSU student union at any moment has, several hundred kids there just having lunch. Right. In the bowling alley. HCB, the building that I was in, there's 3 auditoriums that each hold over 300 students. And then there's 2 more floors.
So if he had made it into some of those auditoriums,
and there were some heroic teachers. There was one teacher in particular. I wish I could remember his last name. I know his first name was Bob. And he was regarded as a hero because he had all the students hide, and he personally put his shoulder onto the door and said, if it's my last stand, I'm making sure nobody comes into this room.
Wow. So he had an indoor or an outdoor?
So he was on the first floor. So that was one of the buildings.
By the way, absolutely insane that it's an outdoor. Like, they should change that too.
Exactly. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. It should open in so that you can
actually.
Yeah. So we couldn't lock the door. We couldn't lock the door, and we couldn't barricade it. So all we could do was I literally stood on one door. I literally stood on one door with my left hand holding the door handle and my right hand clutching my Yeti water bottle. And
was that for good luck?
Sorry.
No, that Yeti bottle was going upside his head.
Yeti bottle was going upside his head.
Yeah, that was a weapon that I was going to use.
I got you.
Yeah, and so.
Was it Galati Yeti?
No, I wasn't there yet.
I told you we were going to bring levity to this situation.
It was a South Walton High School lacrosse Yeti.
That's pretty strong.
South Walton High School.
That's pretty strong.
South Walton High School lacrosse.
Let's go Seahawks.
That's right. Go Seahawks.
There was a season that your dad and I was the voice of the Seahawks.
The voice of the Seahawks. That was pretty legendary.
Y'all got paid?
No. But I had a great time in that booth with his dad as we announced. But the problem was the stupid refs would not allow any, like, I would be like, goal, I had an announcement and music, and I would call them out as they ran out, and
the color commentary was awesome.
We did some stuff, and they would actually come into the booth. The first time we were color commentating, they came into the booth and was like, you guys can't do that anymore.
That's so ridiculous.
All I could literally say was goal, score.
Or what? They would make you forfeit?
Yo. True North Pest Control. They are all over Central Florida, Georgia, and they just moved here to the Emerald Coast. I just switched my service over to them. You've got to check them out. Tell them JB sent you. They'll take care of you. We are a bug-free podcast because of them. True North Pest Control. Now back to the show.
The game?
Yes,
They
shut it down.
That's so ridiculous.
I don't know why.
Tough crowd over there.
It was my last time I was a voice of Seahawks.
I know. That's unfortunate.
I think there was somebody took it too far, and ruined it for everyone.
Bradley? No,
not Bradley.
He was on the soundboard.
I can't see him getting crazy.
No, not Bradley.
Yeah, definitely.
But we had a great time. I actually had a great time doing that with him, though.
It looked awesome.
It was fun.
I loved it. I honestly missed when y'all did that. And we were upset when we found out that y'all couldn't do it anymore.
It was frustrating.
It was very frustrating. I think that everybody's so damn sensitive that
it's
baseball gets walk-up songs.
Boasting and bragging. It's unsportsmanlike. But in reality, it's like it's a home game. Allow it to be a home game.
Quite frankly, all the other schools, I'm okay if they have voices.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, it is what it is.
As long as you're not talking crap about the other team, which y'all never did.
Never did that. We were just
number 12 over here. This little peon. Right. Like 14 years old.
I think I did it a couple more times here and there. I know when Matt scored a couple ones, I think I did a goal, or whatever. Anyway, but yeah. But at any rate, so you had South Walton Seahawk Yeti in one hand, door on it, holding it.
Yeah.
How did your faith kind of come in and play a role in how you responded or processed this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, like, did you find were you praying? Did you have some prayers that were sent up? Did you see other people praying? I mean, we had a guest on one time, Rebecca Balcom, who made a comment that I thought was really good. I hadn't heard it. Y'all seemed to say it was like normal vernacular.
It is, yeah.
But it was like there's no what was it? There's no
atheists
in a foxhole.
Yeah.
So like,
that's a great saying.
Did you feel that way then too? I mean,
Yeah,
I know you're a man of faith. I'm just saying.
Yes,
did you
I am a
feel
man of
that
faith,
way?
and I did pray in the moment. I prayed that God would keep all the students safe, and that God would keep the people protecting us safe.
Yeah.
And that this terrible person would be taken down in a timely manner.
Right.
After the incident was over, I prayed a lot for the people that saved us and for the victims themselves, as well as the victims' families. I prayed a lot for them. I know my parents prayed for me a lot.
They were probably right on their knees that moment, right?
Because after a while, like there was a massive.
I remember praying. I remember praying.
Thank you. And there was a serious adrenaline hangover that came after that, and just a lot of weight in the coming days and weeks after, of just like the sheer scale of what had happened.
When you knew that the situation was cleared, did you feel like your shoulders, like the moment you could let go of that door?
Yeah.
What hit you then?
I mean, it's hard to say. I was still so hopped up on adrenaline that I was still in a fight or flight mode, and primarily fight. I was seriously
especially
ready.
when somebody's like, is there guys ready to beat this guy up if he comes in? Like you have to mentally prepare yourself.
I had a lot of conversations with myself too, of like, am I down to do this? And I always came to,
because it's easy to say.
You don't have a choice.
It's easy to say, I'm here.
I'll do that.
But
I'm there.
Like you have to mentally get like that. I can't imagine the amount of adrenaline going through your veins.
It's crazy. I've never had anything like it.
Yeah. I get it. I haven't experienced what you experienced. Did you hear other people praying in the rooms?
I did not.
You didn't.
Everyone was
quiet,
so stone cold. I'm sure people were praying.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like
silently.
I was praying silently.
Right.
I'm sure other people around me were praying silently.
Trained. Y'all have been trained to be quiet.
As quiet as possible. And even like I said, if somebody was making noise, it's like,
quit making noise.
Did everybody?
Crying
so did you feel like everybody had that training?
Yes, absolutely. I think that all of us have had training at least since high school.
Wow.
And but yeah, there was one really tough moment when I could hear footsteps in the hallway, and like that was a super intense moment. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears because I could hear them getting closer and closer and closer to the door that I was blocking. And my thought was like, I don't know if this is somebody trying to hurt us. I don't know if this is a police officer. I don't know if it's another student that's trying to get in and seek refuge. And I was like, how am I going to make that split-second decision of, is this a good guy or a bad guy? And what I came down to was, if somebody comes to the door, I'm swinging, and if it's a good guy, I'm apologizing.
You'll apologize later.
But I was like, I'm sorry, I'll give you a really big goose egg with this Yeti water bottle of mine.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
I'm not going to wait to see if the gun's there or not.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm not going to wait to look down a barrel before I swing.
Was there an intercom that said it was all clear? Did
after
FSU?
a long time, because FSU is such a large campus, and they had to search every single square inch, every single closet before they could let everybody clear.
To make sure there's nobody
knows if there was other people involved, and there was a lot of rumors that there was 2 shooters, there was 3 shooters. They were over where we were, and then there was talks. They were at the psychology building across campus, and so before they could say anything or let anybody go, there was a massive search process. And so,
how long did that last, Matt?
Several hours.
Yeah, I feel like
you were
holding the door for several hours?
For a long time I was, until so right up until this moment. So
you were telling me they got him in 10 minutes. I was thinking high adrenaline. So you are on
I had no idea what was happening for at least an hour. And then, like I said, I could hear footsteps getting closer and closer and closer. And I make that conscious decision of, all right, if someone comes to the door, I'm swinging as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And like swing first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
And that was what I was going to do. And then I'll never forget, I'm looking at an angle through the window, and I see a bald head like thump onto the window.
Okay.
And look around, and I'm like super intense, like looking at it here, clear, and turns around and goes to the next room. And at that point, it was like, the weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like,
that's when you know that was
when I
essentially
knew.
a police officer,
yes,
a SWAT
I
team
knew
member.
immediately that was a SWAT team member, and after that I was able to look out the window and I was able to see two police
out. They're
officers.
usually bald.
Yeah. And so I saw a bald head dump onto the glass, like even left like a smudge on the glass. I was like, thank God. Like,
Did he see you guys in there
he couldn't see us at all.
at all? Was it like, would you put up something on top of the
No,
glass?
but I was looking at such an angle
How did he know it was clear?
Yeah.
because it was totally dark, and I think he might have been able to see me.
Okay.
I think he might have been able to see me, but it was totally dark, and he could tell that. And most of those classrooms are filled, at least all that I know, at least on the second floor, which is where I was. And so he probably knew that there was a class going on in that room at that time, and because there was, students being quiet, he knew that there was not an active, individual trying to hurt us at that moment. But we were in that classroom for at least an hour. I think we were probably pushing 2 hours before we could before the lights came on. And then, so I was at one door that led into the hallway, and there was a couple other guys at a door that led into a hallway between two rooms. And after a while, we hear knocking on that door. This is the Leon County Sheriff's Department. We're coming in. We're here to help you, and repeating it several times so that we knew. This is Officer so and so. I wish I could remember their names, but
No,
this is Officer so and so. I'm with the Leon County Sheriff's Department. We are coming into the room, and they walk in. Lights come on. They said, "All right, everybody, walk out in a single file line with your hands above your head." And so
Really? So you walked
every
out.
single one of us went out of there. We put our hands up above our head and came walking out one by one, and they led us downstairs into a large courtyard. And
Outside.
and then it was at least another 2 hours before we could go home, because they led us there, and they led us to another area of the campus, and then to another large maintenance building, and then they came in asking if anybody's seen anything, if anybody knows anything. They came in and said that several times. Well, in this time that we were waiting, people would come in with cases of water and drop them off, and so that went on for a long time.
So
then
they're just kind of they needed to gain as much evidence.
Exactly, as much evidence as possible while it was fresh.
While it's fresh.
Well, it's super fresh, and even
they wanted to control the situation of where you were,
and then be able to continue searching the campus and be 100% certain that nothing else is going to happen, because the last thing they want to do is release 10,000 plus students to go home, and then there's another one that we didn't find. That would have been worst case scenario. And so that all goes back to the fact that the FSU PD, Tallahassee PD, and Leon County Sheriff's Department and the SWAT team, everybody did such an incredible job, and I'm forever thankful to those guys. And there's never a time where I won't see them and come up to them and shake their hands and tell them thank you.
It seems like they've done some training themselves.
Absolutely,
on this stuff. If the police units and local PD and whatnot, and along with obviously the kids, everybody's been. Again, it is an absolute travesty. That we have to talk about this, and that they need training on how to protect schools from active shooters or businesses at this point. But it's just the world we live in, and
it is.
And then you guys having to go through that as far back as middle school. So you remember as far back as middle school.
As far back as middle school, we were trained.
ECMS.
Yep, ECMS.
How about that, man? That is insane.
But the training definitely did pay off, because we knew exactly what to do.
Exactly what to do.
There was even a kid. I remember looking back, I was able to take a breath and look at my phone, text people back, and I turned around and there was this kid in my class that was a really flamboyant individual, and he had a nightstick in his hand. And it looked like, I didn't know, it was like a long metal pole.
Like a New York City cop?
Seriously, like a nightstick. And I turned around and I said, it was real dark.
Where did you get that?
I turned around and I said, is that? I was like, what is that? He's like, it's a big ass metal stick. That's what he said. I was like, okay. I was like, cool, bro. I turned around.
It just
yeah, like a seriously baton, shoot
baton.
And then I turned around again. I was looking back where I was looking. I started thinking about more, and I turned around at him again. I said, "Do you just keep that on you all the times?" He's like, "Yeah, I go to school in Florida." I was like,
what? So to that point, has there ever been an active shooter at FSU before?
Yes, there has. In 2012 or 2013, the shooter came into Strozier Library, and there was one individual that was shot. I actually had the opportunity before this even happened to dive with this person. He's the most accomplished
with the
paralyzed
shooter?
No. With the one victim of the shooting.
Really? And he's
paralyzed from the waist down.
But he dies today. Still.
He is the most accomplished paralyzed diver in the world.
Really?
He has more dive time, more places he's dived, more depths he's dove to. It's really impressive. Yeah. And so I actually in my divers course that I took during the spring.
Oh, you went to Wakulla Springs probably?
We went to Vortex Springs.
Vortex, where you get trained. That's a great place to
Wakulla
train.
is the deepest one in the world, I think.
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's some cold water, though.
Vortex is cold. You put on a good wetsuit.
Yeah, we
you're
had good
fine.
wetsuits. But I did have the opportunity to dive with this guy, like, even long before this happened, and meet him, and
where
like
I
he told me
trained,
stories. But yeah, that was the only other FSU shooting, and he was the one victim from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, so it's happened,
A couple times.
12 years
ago. He
ago.
said that it was this kid with the baton. Was he from? Would he go to Parkland? Did he?
I don't know,
You don't know
where he's from.
He said I go to school in Florida. That is insane.
He's obviously not
I know,
from
it's
Florida.
crazy.
I'm guessing. I
I don't think he was from Florida.
Yeah.
I think that he was just saying that.
Yeah.
But like that was one thing. Looking back, like that was something that had completely been wiped from my brain in the moment. And then later on that night, when I was sitting down with my parents and like having a drink to decompress and like just talking about the whole situation, like I was telling them the story of what had happened, and then that memory just like popped back into my head of like, and I thought, oh, that was freaking hilarious.
Where's the dude with the stick?
That is. Where's the dude with the stick?
Can we get him on?
We'll get him on this.
He had my 6. And
he was in the room though. He's ready to
he
go.
was standing right behind me.
I would tell you
And
the
I was
stick
like,
would have been better than the
respect
Yeti
that.
cup.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, dude. I could put some force behind that Yeti cup.
So, well, and this is a great time to tell you about Yeti. No, I'm just actually,
Yeti should give me a sponsor for that.
That's right. Actually, I should take a break real quick to talk to you about True North Pest Control. True North Pest Control, they are your pest control superheroes. You can find them TrueNorthPest.com. They will take care of all the bugs you have. Cockroaches, rats, spiders.
Them cockroaches that fly.
Mosquitoes, whatever it is.
Birth wings.
But seriously, get a hold of the True North guys. Tell them the Jabronis sent you, and they will take care of you. They do such a great job. They're all over Central Florida, the Emerald Coast, and then Georgia. They cover the whole state of Georgia. So you definitely need to give them a call. Love those folks over there. They're super good, super kind, and they love to do good work. So check out True North Pest Control. But let's move on. You talked about your adrenaline, how it really elevated, and it took a while for that adrenaline, because even having a drink with your parents, you still are like
super
on
hopped
a
up.
super hopped up.
Yeah.
In the days and kind of the weeks that followed, what helped you stay grounded mentally? Because there were probably a certain amount of time that FSU allowed for y'all to be gone.
Yeah, and like I said, it was at the very
have to go back.
Well, it was at the very end of the semester, and so we had one more week of class.
Everybody
and then
gets
finals
A's.
week.
That's what I was about to
Pretty
add. I
much,
was
yeah.
gonna
So
say,
they put everything after that. So our President Richard McCullough, did an incredible job of managing the situation on all fronts.
Yeah, because who wants to do a final then, right?
Yeah, seriously. So they made all finals. So all class and assignments after that were optional, and they could only help your grade, including the final exam. So you were able to end the semester with the grade that you had. Because I think that the following week was finals week. It was either the following week or one more week of class was then finals week.
Who could think about it?
Seriously, nobody's going to the library to study for 8 hours a day before finals. You
got to have some. You got to add some humanness.
And that's what gets back to Richard McCullough did.
Grace, some kindness.
Yeah. And so a lot of people were upset initially when we found out the classes were open on Monday, because this happened on a Thursday.
Okay.
And they said classes were open on Monday. Everybody was super pissed off before they realized, like, okay, no, they are open for the people that want to improve their grade. I did go to class.
So it's optional.
Everything was optional after that.
Okay.
And
well, that is good to know. Yeah.
it was good. So that was great. Another thing that he did is I had several friends who were walking on campus or walking on Tennessee Street after, and out of nowhere, like a black Escalade swerved over onto the sidewalk. Actually, I think this was on Park Ave, so near my fraternity house. Like, swerved over onto the sidewalk, threw it in park, and out jumps President Richard McCullough to give these guys a hug and ask if how they were dealing with the situation. And I know several people that did that, that he did that for, and it just shows like his compassion for the students and his love for the university, and his masterful ability to deal with the situation. So all great things for him. Like I couldn't be happier with how the president dealt with this.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So all things considered, like the people who were in charge did an incredible job of managing the situation. Like I said, with the police department and after the fact with our president and the staff.
I mean, I hope that's a lesson for anybody that's in leadership in a community where this happens, right? Is you've got to have some grace for the moment and figuring out how to navigate it, because you could be really rigid and have no like swerving or maneuvering. So that's really tough, and I'm actually really glad to hear that. I mean, quite frankly, Matthew, the students, the university at FSU should be proud about what they've poured into you, because you know, you have such love for this university, and you care for it and the community that's there. I mean, I've always just thought about crab legs when I think about FSU. So I mean, you make me love FSU, man. I mean,
to that point,
you know, for a Georgia Bulldog guy, you know,
hey, and to that point, Jameis Winston is still kicking butt on the football field and spreading God's word.
Jameis Winston, you can come here on this podcast anytime.
Jameis spreads the word of God every day. He has his teammates do Bible study every day after practice. Jameis is a good dude.
He's a knucklehead, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Everybody's
exactly.
a
So what?
knucklehead.
He walked out of
he's from
Publix with some
Alabama.
crab
He's from Alabama.
Hey, that
honestly,
was before NIL too. So I mean, he wasn't.
That's right.
He didn't have crazy money
He got paid.
to get premium crab legs from Publix. I mean,
You know,
come
I
on.
saw his crab leg commercial the other day, and I thought that was the best.
So funny.
That
I love
was
Jameis.
the best.
Jameis has got to be the
Absolutely.
most likable individual in the NFL right
I'm
now.
just. By the way, I'm really kidding
Yeah, the
about
guy
it.
gave him to him
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, there was a whole story
Exactly.
behind it. I know there's a
The
whole
guy
story
gave
behind
him
it.
to him.
Do you feel like this experience changed how you see the world? I mean, or maybe even what God's doing in your life?
I've been able to stay really grounded with it, and that, you know, this is not God's will, obviously.
Right.
That this is not God's will, because a lot of people want to turn around. A lot of uneducated people and people who aren't very strong in their faith love to say, how could God let this happen? You know, and that's the easiest out to something like this. And so you just have to stay grounded in knowing that God is through you, is with you through everything, you know.
Well, we're in a broken world, so it's not like fairness went out the window, you know, really with Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
And it's never going to be made right on this side of heaven.
For sure.
So we've got to understand that being in a broken world, we're going to have bad things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
And that is all in our control. Human's human, and we do things, and and you have people, and who knows what happened to that kid? Who knows what happened? Like, why did he got the way he is? There's probably an entire backstory that could be unpacked with somebody much more brilliant than I am to understand what led up to his decision to bring a weapon onto campus and fire it at somebody.
And unfortunately, I think he's somebody who has spent his entire life struggling with mental health issues, as well as being an outcast in school.
Right.
And so he's going to this large university where there's a huge amount of social life, ton of nightlife.
Right.
Everybody's got good friends. And unfortunately, I think he was an outcast, a loner, and somebody struggling with a lot of mental health disorders that
Had access to a weapon.
Had access to it. And it's nothing on his mom's fault either.
No.
His mom was a 2-decade veteran of the Leon County, of the Tallahassee Police Department, and you know, her son had access to a firearm, unfortunately, and
She probably didn't know that was even.
She didn't have a clue.
Yeah. But and look, I can only imagine the drama it's brought to her.
Yeah.
I mean, and like you're talking about families wrecked.
Completely. She lost her
all
job.
over the place. Yeah, all over the place. Families wrecked.
For
And,
sure.
Yeah, my heart goes out to everyone in this situation, and honestly, the guest we had earlier a few episodes ago with Mike Yoder, I mean, he would probably say, I mean, he offered so much, his FBI profiler, it offers grace to even some of the worst criminals in the world. Now, still accountability has
Of
to
course.
happen, but still treats people human.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I mean, my heart goes to even that young man who like completely altered his life ever
And
on this earth.
And he wanted to die.
Yeah,
he wanted to die, and he did not die.
He did not.
He was shot actually in the mouth and survived. And
wow.
So I'm thankful that he didn't die, because then he would have been able to live out his plan, or he would have died out his plan.
That's right.
Because he wanted to die. He didn't want to live anymore. And
But
so
why don't you, I mean, like, first off, don't commit suicide. But why do you need to take other people with you? Like, that's just insane.
And so, you know,
but again, not mentally stable.
No, not mentally stable, and he can live his miserable life in prison. And I hope that during that time he's able to find God.
Well,
I really do.
Well,
and
find some
peace.
hope, find some peace, get some help. I don't know that happens well in prison.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But certainly he shouldn't be walking the streets where you have access to people, with weapons and stuff. So that, I mean, look, again, actions have consequences. Then that is a grave consequence to those actions. And I hate that we even have to talk about that. Despite what happened, what gives you kind of hope now? I mean, what are you looking for, excited for your future? Like here we're moving. We've got this. You've got jobs. You've got things coming, and you have been able to like just kind of decompress from this and move on. And do you feel like you're? By the way, do you feel like you're numb? Is that what?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
I don't think I'm numb at all. I think that one thing that kind of helps me move forward is knowing that like everyone loves to say that in a traumatic situation like that they'll be able to do the right things, but the reality is a lot of people freeze up and a lot of people go stand in the corner.
100%.
My professor was an example of that. My professor, after asking guys like myself to block the door, he sat in the corner, away from everybody, like as far away from danger as he could possibly be.
I gotta commend you.
Do you have his class? Do you have his class coming up this next?
No, I would not do that again.
Because that's good. Because if he watches this pod,
he's not gonna be happy for that. But it's it was something that was good that came out of it, knowing that when faced with a situation like that, I'm able to do the right thing and know that like I'll be able to handle that situation the right way. On top of that, spending a lot of time with friends and family helped immediately after it, because nothing's worse after something like that than being alone. I remember driving home, like the 2.5 hour drive home felt like it was an 8-hour drive. It was just heavy, and like I just didn't want to be by myself. And so being with family.
Did you get on the phone and talk to somebody while you're driving?
Man, I didn't, because I just like. Your natural instinct is that you want to be alone and secluded, but that's when you
don't want that. You don't
need that. It's not good for you. And so then being able to get home, be with my parents, we went to Orange Beach and spent time with friends. And so that really helped. On top of that, I use that to really help me be focused on my goals financially, my goals professionally, my goals in the gym, like anything. Like I was able to just really hone in on my goals, kind of to stay grounded and move forward from that.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
And it reminds you, like,
maybe reminds what's important.
What's important and how anything can happen at any time. I mean, it could not have been a more normal day at school.
What day of the week was it?
Thursday.
Yeah, you might have said that earlier.
It was Thursday, and I was like gonna get out of class Thursday. and then go home. Like I was going home for the weekend. It was actually right before Easter. And so I was going home for the weekend, and then we were going to Orange Beach for Easter. And so it was like that. Yeah, that answers your question. It was on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And again, I want to thank you for being such a great friend of my son. I love your family so much. They crazy story. Your mom knew my mother-in-law and did some boating with her, and kind of knew the story of the loss and her loss, and that's really how when we connected all those years ago. And I love your parents. I love your family. I'm so thankful that you were okay. It doesn't surprise me that you would have been a man of action in that moment.
Thank you.
That's how you were raised. It's who you are. But I'm also thankful that the amount of respect you have for people that pour into you in life. Because the one thing I like about Matt is that he has never been afraid for mentorship. He's never been afraid to ask the question. He's never been afraid to want to learn from people that have gone before him. Because of that, though, Matt, you're going to have pitfalls in life. You're going to have problems in life. You're going to have issues that are coming, because that's the problem with life is there's 3 stages. You're either in a problem, coming out of a problem, or going into one. That's it. But you are going to avoid some of those problems, because you're going to this young people, if you looking out, Matt's a great example of somebody says, if somebody's made a mistake before me, I'm going to try to not do that one.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Not do that. I'm going to learn from their mistakes. I won't have to do it until I learn it. You know?
I've been super that's been a conscious thought of mine for a very long time.
It's really super smart. I've noticed you navigating life that way. I think it's been a great example for Jackson, my son. I think he's tried to do some of that too. And I'm so thankful that y'all are able to balance each other in that way. And even though he lives in Tampa and you're in Tallahassee, and have some of those conversations, because, you know, you and Jackson and some of y'all like that in your circle, give me hope.
Yeah,
for this next gen.
And
Give
Jackson has been something that I'm able to build off of on myself. You know, and you always want to have friends that you help motivate and help motivate you. You know, so you can both continue to go further in life. And Jackson is one of those friends of mine that we always are able to build off of each other.
Man, I'm so thankful you say that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's who you want to surround yourself, especially like as I've gotten older. You know, I've separated myself from a lot of the people that are kind of just always getting in their own way.
Well, you hear
or takers.
Takers and people that get in their own way. It drives me crazy. And Jackson's always one of those guys that's like I can look at him and see what he's doing, and always find myself like, I can do a little more. I can do a little better. I can do a little better.
I really appreciate you saying that. And, it means a lot to me as a dad, but I also see you doing great.
Thank you.
And stay focused. Keep listening to others. And look, whether you realize or not, you're mentoring your own generation, and there are young people looking up to you. Younger people, younger than you, are seeing that and going like, hey, I want to be like that. So if you're an audience member watching, I know we've got young people that watch. You're my hope. That's why we do this show, is for people like Matt and to learn. And I'm so thankful you came on, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was glad to be able to share a lot of things. Like I said, I mean, moving forward, there's a lot of things that people can learn from this situation. Like I said, the biggest thing being parent education. That's the one thing that I think needs to change a lot.
Yep.
And so, I was just kind of happy to be able to share what happened and things that we can look forward to moving on. You know?
Yeah, for sure, brother, for sure. Well,
thank you.
Hey, and listen, what would you say if I'm a FSU fan? When I say like go Seminoles, I mean what is
go Noles?
Go Noles. So go Noles.
Just like go Dogs.
Go
Hold on,
Noles.
I want to know what he would go back in time and tell us.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been asking everybody this question, but I can't ask Matt this question.
What would you go back and tell your freshman self?
Yeah, what would you know? What? Let's do that. So, what would you go back and tell your 15-year-old self? If knowing what you know now, what would you go back in time and tell your 15-year-old self? Last question. I ask everybody their 25-year-old self, but you ain't 25.
No, I'm not. I still got time for I'm 25. What would I ask my 15-year-old self? Ask my or tell my
just tell your
15-year-old self.
What advice would you give?
What advice would you give your 15-year-old self if you could go back in time, knowing what you know now? What would you ask or tell? I'm sorry, tell your 15-year-old self.
Just stay goals oriented.
Stay goals oriented.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it.
No. I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I'm in on that.
What type of knot to tie on a lure would probably.
Yeah,
exactly.
And don't jump the fence in Sandestin with Deputy Dan on duty.
Raise a little bit of hell, but you know.
Yeah. Learn to tie knots.
Exactly.
Don't tie a lot. Learn to tie. Learn to tie
the right ones one time.
One time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, listen up, kids. Listen up, kids. Matt's story is a powerful reminder that even the most unthinkable moments, faith and resilience can carry us through. His willingness to share what he saw, felt, and learned offers hope to anyone facing their own season of fear or uncertainty. A heartfelt thank you to Matt for letting us into his journey. And so until next time, hold on to hope and to each other. Or don't. I mean, what the hell do I know?
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid combos, jokes so lame, jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD.